Hello, this is Mr. Gigabytes, and this is Gigabytes Technology. What I'd like to do today is take you through a little bit of configuring Vice and some of the things that I like to do to make it a little more usable for me. So I'm going to go ahead and get Vice up and running here. We'll do Commodore 64. And I use the Commodore 64 the most, whether it's for games or for uh, other programs or programming anything really. This is pretty much the default settings for Vice. One of the first things I do is take off the render filter so that it's nice and crisp and sharp. One of the other things I do is I enable a printer setting. I enable the MPS 803 driver and printer number 4 emulation. Usually I'll do file system access just so that it outputs like a JPEG or a PDF when it prints something. Then I can take that, put it into another program, and print it out. The other thing I do is save settings on exit because I tend to forget to save my settings. And when I close, it's nice to be reminded that to save those settings. The other thing I do is a Drive 8 floppy drive is already emulated and attached. And so it's already set up. There's not a whole lot to do. The default is usually 1541-2. I like to have it emulate a straight 1541, and there really is no good reason for that apart from the fact that that was the original drive I used to have. Any of these selections will be fine, I'm sure. So the one thing I like to do, because I typically don't use fast loaders with Vice. I'll turn on the drive sound emulation. That way I can tell that it's working just by listening to it, and it sounds just like a 1541 drive. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and attach a disk image. Let's just load up Digiloy for a change, and there you can hear the floppy drive sound. And it is super accurate. I really can't fault the sound. As it switches tracks, it makes the exact same sound the original floppy drive used to. Like I said, no acceleration on this whatsoever. Anyway, you get the idea. But that's the way I set up my Vice emulator. A lot of this other stuff I don't bother to mess around with because it's just not necessary. Let's take a look at Super Mario Brothers with these settings. And this is nice and sharp without those lines in it. At any rate, you get the idea. Thanks for watching.